Okay, so I guess we're getting this started.
I guess we are.
Okay, so
welcome to the table of turds.
I feel like I need a fancy hat. At least like some kind of top hat. Look at that.
I think it's pretty nice. Do you want to wear the hat?
Oh, I'm
25% of the people at this table are wearing a fancy top hat.
That good math.
It's pretty good.
You
know what?
you
That's some solid math right there. Okay, we're just gonna get this started. So hi guys, ToonKriticY2K here, your cult personality. I got a buddy here with me.
Sarah Skygazer from Canterlot Radio.
Yeah. So this is a little bit of an impromptu thing. I am not prepared for this, but we're gonna play this by ear.
Sing the song. I wasn't creeping.
Okay. So did you want to go first or should I?
We can bounce back.
Okay, I guess I'll start this off. So both of you, like Gryph0n, Michelle, Creber, you two are very well known within the brony community. You, of course, are the voice of Boom. You are an accomplished singer. I gotta say, both of you are extremely talented, so I just gotta ask, right off the bat, where do you find like the inspiration to do what you do these days? Because it's been, like, how many years have you guys been in this community now?
Jeez. Well, she longer than me, obviously.
5 years.
But you were doing My Little Pony before you even knew about it.
It's true. I first auditioned for My Little Pony when I was 9 years old.
9?
Yeah.
9?
I started recording when I was 10.
And now you're almost 18.
I'm almost 18. Whoa!
Time flies.
In a year and a month, I'll have been on My Little Pony for half of my life.
It will.
Ew, it's weird.
Right? That
crazy.
50% of you is apple blow.
Yeah.
That
makes sense.
I also wanted to say, I love what you've done with your hair as well. Like,
Oh, thank you.
It's a nice change.
She turned a
Yeah.
crazy fire mishap into an
Exactly. I donated my hair in May, I guess. It's been a couple months. And I'm really liking it. It's just a fresh new look. And my hair was so long and it was very thick too, so it always took me a very long time to get ready. And I never did anything with them. Yeah.
But back to the question, where do you two find like inspiration?
Would you like to start or would you like to start?
I'll start.
Okay, you start.
Everywhere. No, like,
These
well,
sunglasses,
initially...
I've got a new song.
Glasses. Your limousines get stuck in
Hey, I
traffic.
got mine too, so.
Yeah, that'll work.
Inspiration.
Your cheap sunglasses. I think there's something there. Your cheap sunglasses, and I'll see right through. You don't know that song, do you?
I do, but I don't.
Anyway.
I was just making it. Okay. Anyway, initially, obviously, I drew most of my inspiration from the show, which is why all my songs are based off it. But I didn't want the songs to be something that was exclusive to the show, so that people outside the show could listen to it. I feel like the show has lessons. I think it has values that hold true in reality. We all draw inspiration from experience. And I thought the show had some very positive messages, especially for someone being, in the military overseas, not being in an area where even people spoke my language. It's comforting to see something that positive and that, upbeat, and just it is almost therapeutic in a sense. And I think a lot of people probably find that.
Yeah, there's like so many different like military bronies. Like a military
Lots
brony,
of
you would not expect that like a couple years ago, but now it's kind of a cool thing.
Well,
Oh, yeah, and there are lots
once I
of
found out about it, I was like, that makes so much sense.
But that's where I drew my inspiration. I continue to draw inspiration from that, and things have just progressed and changed. I mean, there's less that I can do that's blatantly related due to doing stuff on the show side of things, and of course working with Michelle. When we have to be careful how blatant we are, because the producers and of course Hasbro or Uncle H's is that what they're called? I love that. It's so cute. They're cautious with their IP.
Right.
All the cease and desist jokes, and people are aware of that.
Yeah,
So
that's a real thing. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we still draw inspiration from that, but we try to incorporate it into different things and try and keep the passion that the fandom has shown us going, because that's just as inspiring. It's like mutual inspiration. They inspire us.
Kind of just circles back around and keeps fueling itself.
And that's why I think this has gone on for so long. Not just we're just a small example of that, but everybody.
I think it's
That's why these conventions work.
Yeah, it's like the fandom is standing on its own aside from the show. I think if the show stopped today, it wouldn't make a difference. I feel like the community is beyond that. I mean, obviously the show is the center of it, but
And the creatives
the
that
people
work
and the connections
with the show are
in
just
the
as
fandom.
interwoven.
Yeah, it's really cool to see so many people finding a place where they can just be themselves. And
Except for Lars.
yeah, we don't accept Larson.
There are
Larson left long ago.
There are
Believe me.
downsides to this, to every plus there is a minus.
So essentially, you draw inspiration from the fandom and like how many like different parts of the fandom there are, like YouTube, the artists, the animators, all of it, just a whole collective.
And right, collectively, it's extremely positive. The people are extremely kind. I think we're all drawn to it for similar reasons, so our values tend to be very similar, and it just kind of that perpetuates.
Absolutely.
So,
All right. So
And on the idea that both of you have been in the fandom quite a long time, Michelle especially, what has it been like growing up with the show and the fandom?
It's funny because it's been such a big part of my life for so long. I often forget about how special it is, and I don't take it for granted, but sometimes I just sort of have that realization of, wow, like come to a convention, I'll just have that moment randomly of, this is really cool. And so when you're given something so young and you're given this amazing like pool of people to interact with and visit around the world, it's like, oh, it just becomes normal, but really it's really rare and it's very special. And I've gotten so many opportunities because of this show and met so many amazing people and got to travel the world. I mean, I'm going to Asia for the first time in August, going to a convention in Thailand. He's been there, done that.
I'm jealous, though. I really wanted to go, but I'm going to be seeing the eclipse.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been a real journey. It's been a long time, but I still love it. So how can you not, right?
Ride an elephant. Ride an
I
elephant.
will ride an elephant. I will ride an elephant, and I will go visit the tigers for you.
Thank you.
I will say hi to your
Take
tiger
a picture.
friends.
I will be happy and extremely jealous at the same time.
right, I guess I'll go next. So you two have been working together for like quite some time. You've done all sorts of videos together. You've done music together. It's been like so long. What do you think is the most important part of the chemistry that you guys have? Like keeps you going for like all this time? Because like you guys have amazing chemistry together. You two can ad-lib, improv off of one another, just bounce off, just a chemistry I don't think I've ever really like been able to. I've never really seen it duplicated. It's something like special about the energy that you two have.
I would say potassium nitrate's a great part of it. It's an excellent oxidizer, it just brings. Okay, but yeah, joking aside.
I think artistically, our minds are very
We're-
in
yeah.
sync with, and also like our families are very similar. We had a similar upbringing, yeah, we're also.
I don't know if you guys know what the MBTI is, the personality.
Oh, the personality test. Yeah.
Director. It's like a very. It's not like the Pottermore. Yeah, am I off my Gryffindor test? It's like it's a legit psychology.
Gryffindor. Okay, that's
I
such
agree,
a lie.
but
That's so
Gryffindor
not.
lies, yes. I agree.
Free
I have
fourths
house
left on the right
jealousy.
house.
But anyway, I'm gonna bash on Pottermore because I don't like that guy.
Because I'm stuck with this. Oh well.
I'm an ENFP, and she's an ENFJ, so we're very similar in that sense. We're very intelligent,
High IQ
and humble. So
Very.
No,
Really?
but we have because we're both very driven, so we kind of inspire each other. And I don't know about you, but I've found it hard to find other people who can keep up with my obsessive personality that she can, and
that's-
sometimes exceed it.
I think that's what makes you two like a really good match. Like whenever you two when you go to cons, like you two are almost always together. It's just like it's the dynamic duo-ness right there. Dynamic duo-ness. I should have worded that better.
No, it's a word.
But it fits. It fits.
It's
with
right
you
under
two.
your guys's.
Your
Yeah.
pretty much. All right.
So with all the experiences you've had between on stage in concerts, in plays, on the silver screen, on part of the show, do either of you have a favorite moment or a favorite experience that you just will never forget?
First time you did a backflip off the stage, maybe?
That was a long time ago. I have a lot of favorite moments. It's really hard to narrow it down.
Let's pick one. Let's just like choose one between the two of us. Oh, I liked. We were performing in Michigan, and there's this giant symphony in this giant concert hall. It was
Oh
like
my gosh,
4,000
yes.
people, and we did not
We
know.
had no idea what we were doing. We were exhausted because we'd been up all night swimming.
Well, that was
in
such a priority.
out in the winter,
That was such a priority.
so it was freezing.
Yes, and then 10 minutes before the show, we're like, we haven't practiced any of these songs in a month. But we just went on
Right.
stage and we were fine.
Well,
And,
we
like,
ran it backstage, but then we decided that you wanted to put lipstick on me, and then I looked like a girl for a little while. I remember that, and then I had to wipe it off. Yeah, I have a picture.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Oh yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah.
And then we went out on stage, and it was a huge crowd. It was tremendous. I mean, like,
And it was all like
theater with like
I feel like it was
levels
mostly elderly conservative people who
Extremely.
were looking for a very like classical concert.
and we were
Well.
exhausted, and we were
But
laughing. and
what
we were
I
trying
was
to-
like, that was a moment where I feel like I was very impressed with us, is that we just pulled it out of our butts, and we were very professional, and like
we professionally
we
pulled it out of our
professionally
butts.
pulled it out of our butts.
Got the gloves and everything. All right, let's get this out of here.
Let's do
Yeah.
it. The
Anyways,
colonoscopy of professionals.
obviously.
You can quote.
So, on the record.
Oh, completely
Black
on the record. All right. Okay, let's see. Wow, I'm running out of questions in my head, but I think all right, I got one. So, like, your songs, Gabe, have been they've had a huge influence, I think, on the Brony community. Myself, I suffer from depression. I want to say, like, your songs are a great source of I think, positivity. Like all the songs you do, whether they range from like When They're Pony or some of the songs you've done with Michelle. I want to ask, like, what do you think eventually, like, let's say 5 years down the road, what do you think? What's the one thing that you want people to take away from your music?
That's actually really a question. I'm glad you asked that. I think so. I have a huge emotional range as well.
Oh yes.
So I understand the ups are huge for me and the downs are huge for me. And I think the biggest problem with a lot of people who also have that same kind of emotional range, it's really, really easy to dwell and focus on the down parts.
Yeah.
And it's not just easy. I found myself almost wanting to. When I was upset, I didn't really want to smile. You don't really feel motivated to go in the mirror and go, you know? It's just because you're too frustrated, you're too upset, you're too angry. It's like you're keeping yourself in this somber, state. And it's really hard to power out of it, but it's necessary if you really do want to be happy, which I think all of us do. And there is, life is a roller coaster for everybody, and we all have different experiences, but we're all going to have our ups and downs, and our perspective becomes a range of the highest high points and the lowest low points. And our average lifestyle should kind of be somewhere in the middle. But it doesn't ever work like this. It works like this. And
Life is just one big emotional roller coaster.
it is for everyone, and we've all been there, and we all have been through that. But it's easy to feel alone. And I really, really want my music to reflect the way I feel when I'm at my highs. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of focus in the media, in film, TV, in music. There's a lot of focus on the negative, and or angst or what have you. And some people enjoy that. I personally don't. I think there's nothing wrong with that. My sister, for example, she likes the darker stuff. That's just, she's interested in that. She's like, her emo days, she would agree.
Stuff like Fall Out Boy, like
Yeah,
Panic
yeah.
at the Disco, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what? Not hard. She's pretty hard. But what I'm saying is I like to focus on the positive. And so there is that music out there. There's enough of it. You can find it. I want to write about not just positive experiences, but almost a psychological way of getting to that place. The kind of thought processes that I have to put myself through if I need to pick myself up before I have to go perform, even though I'm feeling terrible.
Right.
Or before I need to think through it. You need to actually think yourself into a more positive place, and I try to put that into my lyrics. I try to draw from my own personal inspiration, and because there's a lot of good in the world, just like there's a lot of bad, but I prefer to focus on the positive because I don't think it does us any, it doesn't fix anything to focus on the negative.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Michelle, can I get your thoughts on that too? What you want your music? What do you want people to take away from your music?
It's funny. We're a little bit different in that way. I feel I do write about positive things, I rarely write a sad song, but I find, especially with the songs I'm writing now, like I have this sort of broad perspective when I'm writing my songs. Like a lot of it is very based on like sort of worldwide issues. Like I don't know. It's so serious, but from a positive standpoint, like talking about the fact that this is an issue almost.
Yeah.
And
so many people go through this, like depression, and suicide, and like anxiety, and all of that.
I have a hard time, like, if I write a song that's like a little bit cliche, I can't. Like, I have to. It has to have depth. Like, I can't write a song that doesn't have depth. And I'm not saying that your songs don't have depth. I was like, we do write similarly. Yeah, and I'm in sort of in a weird place right now, just trying to figure out like what I want my songs to sound like instrumentally wise, because my huge influence for pop is Sarah Bareilles, but I almost feel like I want to go a little bit more electronic than her, because that's the music I like to listen to. I like to listen to top 40 stuff. I prefer sort of the electronic sound, not vocally, but instrumentally. So yeah, I'm just experimenting with that right now. I write a really big variety of songs, and so my challenge with my new album, I have about 20 songs right now, 14 that I really like. But it's just going to be a fun challenge. Yeah, well, exactly. And I mean, I'm very, very picky, yeah. So it's just a matter of blending them all together. And so I'm hoping to, I thought it would be done sometime this year, but this summer's going to be really busy. And I realized I really want to take my time. Like, there's no rush for this. So early next year, I think. So
It should be good.
yeah.
And one last question from me. It's everybody working on the show and in the fandom has touched so many lives, and I would like to know what you two, several years down the road, would like to have taken away, or taken as, I guess, life experiences from the show and the fans around it.
I think that, it's a real showcase of how much good there is out there, and how much, I think it really teaches people, like, once they learn about the fandom, it really teaches people not to judge a book by its cover. That is cliche, but it's true. We went to an Italian restaurant last night that was rated 5 stars on the internet, and we drove up and we're like, this looks like food poisoning in a bucket. And we went in, and it was this incredible place, and it must have been, like, that was 5-star rating, probably was true, and it looked weird, but like inside it was just this amazing. It was that was not the most.
No, that's just the. No, you don't understand. That's just the aesthetic we're going for.
Like, it was a great place,
It was
right?
amazing.
And
I've never seen bigger portions, and they were amazing.
it's like the one portion for each plate
Yeah,
could
the
have
calzone
fed the
was
whole
this
table.
big.
Like, it was ridiculous.
I'm not exaggerating.
That is insane.
It's this big as like that.
Yeah, okay, it was like that. No,
This big.
it was this big.
It was huge.
They have the same oven that they
Couldn't
cook
see
this
the
big
plate.
gingerbread man and Shrek 2. Why is Shrek 2 such a theme of this convention? So
Shrek has been a meme,
Oh,
re-memeing.
but-
No, that's the funny thing, because when me and my friends were headed up, we just pulled into the hotel. We were on we were riding in a car, and right when we were pulling in, like a Smash Mouth song started playing, and I'm just like, this is just a constant theme. This is haunting us every convention we go to.
Yeah, what do you thoughts?
I agree with that. Yes, and that was further to the point that I was making with my music. I agree that there are a lot of issues and stuff, but for the stuff that we can't fix, I'm not even going to say can't fix, because I think dwelling on the negative doesn't help the negative. Do you know what I mean? I think it's important to be aware of it. Of the issues. I don't think that we should go through life, complacent, happy-go-lucky, whatever, la 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 la, But I think the things that actually fix the problem are making a difference by being the positive influence, by being the one who makes things better and leads by example. And I think this fandom is the embodiment of that. And that's what I want to take away personally. I think that's a good personal lesson, and I would like to see more people learn that and take that away. And I've seen the media try to cut down the Brony fandom time and time again, and many times they end up coming around and going,
Very often
many times. So yeah, it's very. That's what I want to take away.
And that's a really heartwarming thing to hear, because in the end, we're all family, we're all friends. We've got each other's backs.
Exactly.
That's the very thing. That's a very important thing about the Brony fandom, especially as long as it's been going since, like, I think 2011, 2012. It's still going strong. We're still a tight community. We met so many people through it, so many different experiences. So I guess I want to ask one last question. This actually will go a little bit back in time for you guys, but
We're gonna time travel, Michelle. Let's go.
He's got the glasses for it.
yeah, I kind of do, yeah.
Get the DeLorean.
We get the DeLorean, we get the TARDIS. Well,
21 gigawatts.
Oh man, his eyes freak me out.
this is a
freak you out.
I know. Cartoony eyes that just freak me
Okay,
out.
we're doing this correctly.
Sorry.
Okay. So I want to ask both of you. I want to take you guys back in time to, I think, perhaps one of your first big performances. Can you describe to me the first moment, like where you felt like this is what I want to do, like whether it's up on stage or something that you've made, just that feeling.
That's interesting.
Just like that one feeling, just like this is what I want to do. I figured out what I want to do, like with my music, with anything. Just like
Have you
that
hit
moment.
that point yet?
For me, it's always been there. Like recently though, like what's been really motivating me is my songwriting, and that's just what feels right. And sort of acting is something that goes along with it. But you know what, I shift my focus because I like so many different things.
Yeah.
So I shift what I prioritize. I like everything, but I feel like I'm pretty certain music is the core of me. Whether that means songwriting specifically, I think just music is number one, is what I've been realizing recently. I wasn't sure before, but in the past year or so, I've been pretty sure that music is like number one. But that doesn't mean that like acting one day will be my main thing. You know what I mean? That
But
I
it can
think
still have a place in your heart. you know?
yeah, but like I've always known what I wanted to do, and I've had a career since the age of 6, really. So I don't think there's been one specific moment where I was like, yeah, I just feel it all the time. I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
That's good. That's actually
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
For me, oh sorry.
Cool.
No, I was asking, what about you?
Okay. So for me, I grew up kind of trying to think practically. Music, entertainment is not a viable career. That was kind of drilled into me. That's what I thought. And I always liked performing. I've been performing also from a very, very young age, professionally. Me and my brother had a band just passed through, and we would, write Christian songs, and we would go and perform those. And we actually got to tour the U.S. We won a pretty big competition at one point. And but we moved a lot, so we always had to reestablish ourselves. And we all kind of in the back of our mind had the idea this is going to come to an end. We graduated high school and joined the military, both of us. And I joined the military for special warfare. My brother joined the military to be a pilot. He went to the Naval Academy. I went to SEAL training. I broke my leg. I had an injury that was then made worse by a skydiving accident. I got dropped from the SEAL program. Nathaniel, due to scoliosis, dropped out of the pilot program. Became a pilot, but dropped out. And I ended up going into music somehow. And Nathaniel ended up starting a thing at the Naval Academy called Navy Beats that got so popular that they started taking gigs from the Electric Brigade, which is like the presidential band that's stationed there.
Yeah.
They're automatically capped to E6. I, around the same time, got promoted so many times within the Navy band that I ended up getting accepted into the presidential band, the Electric Brigade. And then the billet got cut because all their work was being taken by my brother. So we both ended up doing music, even though we tried to get normal jobs in the military, as steady as you can get. Exactly. Both ended up doing music in the military and affecting each other's career, even though I was in Japan and he was in Baltimore. So that's kind of where I thought, maybe this will work.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do music, And then the first time I performed with her was BronyCon 2013. And that was the first time that people had actually sung lyrics that I wrote, like a crowd of people. And that was such a cool feeling, because I'd been performing for years, but always songs that, other people had written, or for crowds who didn't know my own music. And here, 5,000 people are singing my lyrics back to me. It was like, whoa, I need to chase this feeling.
Was that kind of the same for you, Michelle? When you were up there, like BronyCon 2013?
That wasn't my first convention. I'm not sure. Because at that point I wasn't really writing my own music, so I don't think that was a big change for me. I was more just, going out for performance. But yeah, when I started writing my own stuff and I heard it sing back to me, it was the same. I don't remember one instance though. I was just like, yeah, this is fun.
I remember that because I flew from Australia and I was dying. I was so tired.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well that's basically it. So yeah, thank you guys.
No
Yeah, of
worries.
course. It's fun.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Awesome.
There we go. We're good. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Stay
Good luck.
broody, my friends.
Send us a link if you're